For more on the media meltdown, let's bring in Barton Crockett, senior analyst at Rosenblatt Securities. Barton, I want to start off with Paramount because everybody's sort of wondering what can Paramount do at this point, and what does that imply about the value of other assets in the space?
You know, it's really interesting. I mean, I think that the answer at Paramount is pretty straightforward, right? If you were to break the company up, sell it, the stock could be worth a lot more than where it's trading today. We had a sell rating on both Paramount and Warner Brothers for 2 years up until downgrading in March. And it's a great sell rating. It was down 70% for both of those. Since then, the stocks are down another 11%. So maybe we're a bit early. But, we covered our short because we did think that the sale talks were building up momentum, that something was likely to happen, and that it was too easy for Paramount to kind of claim a value benchmark that would then, be constructively construed for Warner Brothers. What's happened is that, with Victory in her grasp, the Redstone kind of control structure there, they've kind of dropped it. But that could come back. I don't know that you ever say never. And I do think that the future for media companies is a breakup. I think that the content, the sports go to internet. If they sell now, they can get some value. And then the TV networks and the TV stations are run by vulture capitalists for cash flow. If you do those type of scenarios, you could argue that Paramount stock could be a double from here. If you look at where they're trading right now, the stock is discounting. We'd argue that zero value for streaming and maybe 2 times cash flow for the TV networks. The comparables in broadcast are trading at like 5 times Nexstar, Fox. And they could be worth a lot more if they just sold off the content and traded as a broadcaster.
Hi, it's Karen. Thanks for being on. So when you do your Paramount sum of the parts to come up with a number, what value do you give for Sherry Redstone's shares versus what ratio do you use of valuation?
What I was talking about there was not really diving into who gets the equity upside. Their shares are about 10%, and they were getting a huge premium in the talks. So maybe they get 20% of that equity value. But I think that the bigger picture here is just the kind of buried value in their broadcasting business, just relative to the peer set. It takes courage to kind of break it up, and the Redstone family, and Sherry haven't seemed to want to do that. So that's why we're at a neutral and not more constructive. If they had, the courage to kind of take that step and embrace the future as it is, I think there could be a lot more money in everyone's pockets.
Barton, let's talk about sports. And I know first of all, you've given us some notes here that give your reference to, once again, Joey Chestnut is on our show. And that, this is actually, exactly what the kind of stuff that Netflix should be doing and is doing. And I guess I'm also interested, though, in the bigger picture of network TV sports and where we see the forces of Amazon, where we see the forces of Apple, who obviously have dipped in, but really have not gone aggressively yet.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to inexorably change. I mean, I think generationally, big sports, big content is moving to the big tech platforms, which have built a better mousetrap. That funds their roll-up of more rights. So Amazon started by picking up Thursday Night Football from Fox, something where Fox was losing money, and Amazon's talking constructively about it, even though they don't have a big pay TV kind of affiliate fee structure to subsidize that. Now it looks like they're picking up NBA from Warner Brothers. I think that the big tech platforms are really kind of be getting more and more sports. And I think that is why these are mature businesses. The pay TV network, the pressures that we see now will accelerate as they lose more sports. And that's why I think, people like Paramount, the weaker players, they should probably exit sooner rather than later.